Okay, so the issue is that a lot of times people think that just because nobody saw them, that they didn't do any harm. Nobody saw me, so I got away with it. That's not how the law works. That's why this is so important. Integrity. Y'all hear me talk about those 6 principles: kindness, compassion, and love, honor, integrity, and respect. Integrity is what you do when you think nobody's watching. I hope y'all listening, because this the money. Integrity is what you do when you think nobody is watching. And when you're sovereign, you are always going to act with kindness, compassion and love, honor, integrity, and respect. Your life contains things that may find uncomfortable and has been restricted, reasons, regulated goods content. Sign that says your content is restricted because some may find it offensive. I'm sitting here talking about sovereignty and acting as an adult and honoring universal laws, and somebody is offended. Let me say something to you who is offended by me speaking on laws and honor and integrity and respect. You can bite these nuts. These nuts right here, all natural, roasted, spicy nuts. These nuts stands for Diva Lyri's nuts. Bite these nuts if you don't like what I'm talking about. Because I'm going to get into this about being adult and mature and why it's important. So you 5 people that's in here, y'all better get this message, because somebody don't want you to know how to be sovereign and mature and adult. They want you to stay a citizen. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why this thing is getting restricted. But I'm going to speak on it, and I hope y'all paying attention, because this is where the money is. Okay, so we're talking about being sovereign and understanding that these laws right here are very important. And the problem is that a lot of people think that they're victims. When things happen to them, they're thinking that it's happenstance and they're victims, but that's not the case. These laws are always in effect, always. And so when you put out an energy by law, it has to come back to you. So if you keep getting things stolen from you and you got to call the popo, or you keep getting people doing things to you, coming at you, charging you, the problem is you. And you got to get yourself in order spiritually. And once that happens, all of your 3rd dimension is going to come into order. Now, so I need to get into this because we've understood what it is to be a sovereign. Okay? Now, as masters of self, what we want to start recognizing is that we are the ones who are controlling our 3rd dimension. Look, I say this, I know a lot of y'all have a hard time calling yourselves this. Listen, you're a God. You are a God. What is a God? This is a being that has the ability to control its 3rd dimension with its energies. And if you're telling me you believe in karma, if you're telling me that you believe that things that you put out must come back, then you're saying that you know that you're a God. Because all of the energies that come to you have to do with the energies that you've put out. So now, in recognizing that, then we know, even according to these laws, that there are no victims. So, if you are in a state of victimhood where, they picking on me, and these people picking on me, and the racist cops, and the this and that and that, you need to stay a citizen, because you can't be a sovereign, because a sovereign is a God. You can't be a victim and a God at the same time. You can't be a citizen and a sovereign at the same time. You are one or the other. Which one are you? If you thinking you are a victim to all these things, you are a citizen. You need to stay where you are. You're not ready to be accountable. Okay, so let's get into this, because we want to talk about how we apply this to law. And why I'm talking about this whole deal with respect to people acting like children as a sovereign. All right, so I want to go into this. Some of the things that we do that are childish. When you're talking about the child protective services coming into your house and they are taking your children, or you talking about you're sicking the child support people on your baby's father, or he's doing it to you or to the woman. Divorce court, where there's this judge saying, okay, you get to see the baby on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then she get Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, that is a childish thing, because if you were acting as an adult, there's not going to be this other person coming into your private affairs telling you what to do. So let's understand this, because when you're talking about, for example, a marriage, I need it to be made clear that a marriage has nothing to do with a God. It's got everything to do, it's a business between you, your spouse, and the state. That marriage certificate, that's got nothing to do with God. That is where you all have created a business and you put the state in control of your business, which is a marriage, and the state is making money off of your marriage. Not only did you put the state in control, pay attention, because I'm hitting somebody's home right now. I get it, but pay attention, because you've been bamboozled, as they say. Because when the preacher married you, what he did was he took that marriage license down to the state and got paid for turning over your business, which you think is a marriage. It's a marriage, all right. It's a business. So it's between you, the spouse, and the state. And what you have done is you've signed over everything that comes from your marriage to the state. And this includes your child, your house, your car, your pensions, your money you make from your job. You've given that up in this business that you call a marriage. So now what ends up happening is you thinking you have a relationship between you and your husband, when the truth is you all are children to the state. You and your spouse, you're children to the state. So now, when you all, first of all, we've already made this clear. With that certificate, that marriage certificate, you've turned over everything, all of your possessions, to the state. So now, as the children to the state, anything you do belongs to the state. This includes your children, your offspring. So now the state comes in and they want to tell you how you're supposed to be handling your children. You can't whip your children, and you can't do all these other things to your children, and they need to be living like this, and they need to be in school, and they need to be in what? That's a government. And what does a government do? It governs the mind. Okay, so they get to tell you about your children and where your children need to be and how they need to be educated. Why? Because you a child to them. So how do you deal with that? Well, you go under trust.